truly time to unlock the power of systematized functions for female CEOs. My name is Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist. Lord, I tell you, this doggone voice of mine, aka the strategy lady over at Let's Talk Strategies. Always excited to come here with another segment of empowering women together. And today's topic, of course, again, is going to be all about unlocking the power of systematized functions for female CEOs. Whether you're a mompreneur, solopreneur, we're going to unlock that. There's some key things that every female CEO needs to have in place. So, what we're going to talk about today here on Empowering Women Together with Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, again, aka the strategy lady over at Let's Talk Strategies, is just that. I want to kind of dive deep into the step-by-step process as it pertains to organizing your systems and creating those SOPs for every aspect of your business, because that's the only way that you're going to systematize it. Let's talk about one step. I think I'm going to cover maybe 3 to 4 here, maybe in about a 12 to 15 minute period. The first one is customer service. And customer service is definitely key. Why? Because it keeps your clients happy. You know how important customer service is for you. It's definitely important for me. And by streamlining your support processes, it's going to be vitally important, and it's going to keep everybody happy, including your team members. So let's dive into what I mean by when it comes to the customer service piece of the systematized portion. When you identify your customers' common inquiries or inquiries, depending on where you're from, and their pain points, it allows you to take a systematic approach and put these things in place. Would you say you're talking your language and love the post notes? Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you. Yes, my love language too, because we got to have those systems together. So again, when you identify those most common questions, issues, pain points, it puts you ahead of the ball game, because in life, as a successful female CEO, because I'm only speaking that into existence, right? You're going to run into some issues. Just plain and simple. You may be the problem, you may not be the problem, but your customers, they're going to come to you with them. And when you identify these things, ladies, it will allow you to develop that comprehensive type FAQ. When you go to some websites sometimes and that you get there and they have an FAQ section and they have all these questions and then an answer to it. The reason why they are so ready and got that together is because they took the time to identify those common issues, pain points, questions that people may have. They took the time out to do that. You should do that too. I truly believe that every website needs an FAQ on it. Okay. And sometimes I used to pause mine because I was kind of unsure of which way to go with mine until I started doing a little bit more research, right? And getting into it, even surveying out on social media and asking certain common key questions. These things not only help the customer, they help you systematize your business. And by doing this, you will also find that now you can create not just basic, but clear, concise SOPs, standard operating procedures, for those of you that are not quite sure what that is. And this will help you, for the response of the customer's inquiries, again, depending on where you're from, right? And even, of course, the pain points. And when you train your support team to deliver that more empathetic type approach, it doesn't mean that you want your team to feel like they're wrong and the customers, Lord, this hair, is always right. It's just the way that you're going to deal with them and handle that situation, right? It allows you to deliver an empathetic, a timely, and an accurate response. It really does. Now, it also helps you to position yourself to implement some sort of ticketing system so that you can track and prioritize those support requests. It all started first, though, from you identifying some of those key things in reference to keeping them happy, in reference to educating the customer as well. right? Because you want to keep them happy, because you want to keep them coming back, you want them to give you some referrals, and you want to make sure that you're delivering, the right type of info, the right type of service, the right type of product. And when you put these things in place and you attach some type of ticketing system or some type of communicating, goes down in the DM, it goes down in the chat on the front part or the bot, right, of your website or your funnel page. I mean, you just position yourself to get in front of stuff. One, they feel like you care, okay, because you got something in place to be able to communicate with them. Now, regularly collecting this type of customer feedback will allow you to continuously do what? Improve, y'all. Improve your support process. There's no need of putting a standard operating procedure together if you hadn't taken care of some of these other different things, right? Your SOPs. When you can have certain said things in place, it allows you to continually improve, because we all stand that time where we need some sort of improvement. You may be good and on top of things, but you may have some staff that may not be, or you may all be good, but then you just got that complaining customer. So guess what else it allows you to do? It allows you to get in front of those objectives, right? So that you know how to respond to them. And you can monitor and analyze that customer service metric that you gotta do. You gotta do it to identify areas for improvement. Okay. Now, that is step one of unlocking the power of systematized functions for female CEOs, solopreneurs, mompreneurs, etc. Okay. Now, step number two is going to be thinking about or addressing the product delivery. So, when we think about that, we want to think about whether it's a service or a physical, tangible product. We need to do this because it ensures timely, efficient delivery for lack of better words, for a seamless experience. You want things to move so smooth that even if you're having issues, your customers shouldn't recognize or see it. We know that we even kind of plan for room for things like that to happen, but your customers shouldn't necessarily see it. So, for product delivery, service delivery, you need to position it to ensure timely and efficient delivery for that seamless experience. Okay. Then you want to analyze the current delivery process for inefficiencies. So, for those of you that are maybe delivering certain products or shipping out skirts, purses, just kind of throwing some things out there. You are drop shipping it, so you're not necessarily the one that's sending it, right? You've got a team of people or drop shipping type company on your website, in your email, when you send them the form of communication that things are on the way. Let them know the time frame that it may take. Give them other ways to communicate with you just in case life happens, because life does happen. Put those things in place so that you can be in front of the ball game. And as you continually have it in place, it will allow you to be able to analyze the current situation, delivery processes, and spot those inefficiencies so that you can fix them. It's called the checkup from the neck up, in my opinion. And you want to train your team to follow those processes, standard operating procedures, the step by step approach to ensure the consistency of it. If you don't get in front of this, you won't be able to identify anything that's out of order. It's necessary. I know you may not want to do it, but you better do it, because if not, somebody's going to do it for you in a way of complaining about you, talking about you on Twitter, and telling how poor of a service you have, whether it is service oriented or product bound. Okay. And then you want to also, if you don't have a great order tracking type system for your customers, I encourage you to put that in place. Yes, training is extremely important for everyone on your team. They have to be on board from the onboarding part and from the offboarding part. You got to implement that. And when I say a transparent ordering tracking system, should be no secrets. Oh, I'm putting this in place because I want to catch my employees. No, let them know up front these things that are in place so they can show up and show out for you, that woman, female CEO who wants everything to be in motion. Now, we're not trying to operate with a spirit of perfection, but we want to operate in decency and order, right? So things are together. People do understand, believe it or not, that life happens. But when you don't have a system in place to communicate that life is happening, that's when you run into an issue. So for your product and delivery or service delivery piece, in order to ensure those timely and efficient delivery for that seamless experience, consider making sure that you have something in place that you can analyze your current product or service process so that you can catch those inefficiencies. It's called testing, right? When you put things in place and you develop certain things in place, you got to implement, AKA take action. When you implement, now you can see how things are working. And you can see how long it's taken for things to work. I believe when I create or come out with a new um, workflow, a new process, I believe in testing it at least for like 2 weeks. So you can kind of see 2 weeks to a month. Guess what? If it doesn't work, you can change it. It's your system. But you need to do it so that you can be able to see how it's flowing, how it's working. All right. Now, let's also think about establishing for your products and services some sort of exchange policy, and make sure that it's clear. So a clear return exchange policy. Sometimes some things are not going to be able to be exchanged or returned. You need to make sure that that is extremely clear. Okay. Oh Lord, allergies. Extremely clear on your policy page on your website, or on whatever it is that you're delivering to them. When it comes to, I gotta get some water, I tell you, when it comes to the whether or not, let's say you're downloading my checklist, right? My lead gen that I gave you, my template that I gave you on how to identify your business activities. You've already downloaded that. Now, for you to think that I'm going to give you some money back for something that I actually technically can't take back, because you're still going to have it. I can't stop you from making a copy of it. There's going to be certain things in your business that you got to just put on that page, right up. No returns due to blah, 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 right? Be clear, concise, and very straightforward. Listen, you're going to run into people that's not going to like that. Guess what? They are not your target audience. It's not your client. It's not your customer. Let them go. Now, let's talk about the marketing piece to unlocking that power of systemizing the functions of or for your female CEO business. The marketing side is so important because it allows you to amplify your brand message with a consistent approach. It allows you to even have more of an effective strategy plan when you do that. Bear with me. Ooh, this pollen is a mess in the ATL. Okay. So, the way to do that, before you can do anything with your marketing piece to systematize it, you need to clearly define your target audience. Girl, everybody is not your target audience. Every mompreneur, every solopreneur woman, every woman in business is not my target audience. Now, I generally will deal with that overwhelmed woman, but she is established already. Okay. She knows what she needs to do. She's just all over the place. She doesn't know what to do. I'm a mompreneur, so oftentimes will hear me speak to the mompreneur because I know what it feels like to be all over the place, unorganized, feeling guilty because you're so busy doing all of these different things, right? And now you feel guilty because you're working all day and all night in your business, and you forgot the main reason why you went in business. You got those children. You want to be able to spend that time. You have a husband, significant other that you want to spend that time with, but because you don't have those systems in place, listen, it's all going backwards. You need to make sure that you clearly define the target audience first. Why else? Because when you do it, it allows you to have your brand message together and whatever your unique selling points are. If you hadn't identified that, you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know who really needs what you have. So, how can you sell it the right way, right? I'd also recommend when it comes to the marketing piece that you create some sort of content calendar, okay? Or and that you have a plan in place for it, that you put it on rinse and repeat, meaning you schedule consistent marketing activities. So I've been going live now for 28 days in honor of Women's History Month. I would not have been able to go live 28 consistent days at 6:30. When I first started, I didn't put a time point on it. I was testing the market to see when people were showing up. But I wouldn't have been able to go live had I not had a method to the madness. Had I not known at least what I was going to talk about, had I not had at least something else in position just in case another situation blew up so that I could still go live. So you got to know what it is you're selling and you got to know who it is you're speaking to, right? So that way, as you draft out that content calendar and schedule things, you can begin to drip it out. Or if you have to jump in because life happens, at least you know what it is you're doing and you can keep and take that consistent approach and things can build and continue to build and build. And you won't seem like you are selling um, banana bread and tires because you're hopping all over the place. You want to stay consistent, right? Also, on the marketing piece, as it comes to the systemized or systemization approach, when design and create that awesome schedule for your social media post, for your blog post, when you're going live, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all these places, Instagram, all these places that I'm live at, it allows me to create more of, or I decided, and you should decide to create more of a templated type approach. I truly believe in templates. I do, for my blogs, for my layout of, if you notice, if you go over to YouTube, if you go over to LinkedIn, if you go to any other places outside of IG, because Lord, this IG stuff sometimes the stuff save and it doesn't. I decided I'm just going to upload things at the end to make sure you guys have it all out here on IG. But if you go to all my other places, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, you will see a consistent template telling you what day it is, the topic at hand, and it looks familiar, not creating this sense of all over the place type thing. So, knowing what you're doing, you can design a branded template for your social media posts, email campaigns, and your promotional emails. Get those workflows together. Automation is going to be key. My stuff drips out right from my all-in-one software, because I know what it is I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And when I go live, it just works well because I already have the method to the madness already set up. Next, you want to think about, of course, we spoke about it up top for the customer service and the other piece. But now when it comes to the marketing piece, this will allow you to do what? Train your team, whether it's a VA, virtual assistant, admin, team member, to create or execute on your marketing campaigns. And it'll make sure it's in line with your branded guidelines. Okay. So if I got to send something over to a VA because I've identified my business activities and I'm clear on my target audience, I've established certain things, I know the product, I know the service that I'm doing, I can freely give it to that person so they can execute and they can do it in its most concise or decisive type way and not leave things out. See, oftentimes we blame our VAs, virtual assistant, admins, for things being messed up. When really, girl, you've been the problem from the very beginning because you hadn't taken the time to identify some of those key things. And you done fired that poor person, or you've talked about them so much, and really you're the problem. I don't know if you guys have been following me for a while, but I share my story where my first VA fired me. And she was good. But because I was all over the place, I hadn't identified my business activities, I hadn't identified my target audience, I was making it seem like every woman needed what I needed. So my message, my delivery wasn't on point. So again, this is why I say I work with female CEOs, but you all will hear me talk about the mompreneurs, right? Because I am her, the wifepreneurs. But I work with established female CEOs who they're established and they know and they understand the importance of systems. Or if I work with someone who's not established, they come to the table knowing, and because they figured it out by bumping their head, they got tired of throwing mud up against the wall and expecting for it to stick. They know that it is time to take a systematic approach because they hadn't been able to streamline and they are frustrated and nothing is working right. So again, when we think about that marketing aspect of it, get all that stuff together so you can train your team accordingly and you don't blame them for your uh-ohs. Now, with all that being said, on the marketing piece, there are softwares, there's ways for you all to even monitor and analyze the performance of your marketing efforts. That way, when you put these things inside of some type of system, right? Some way to when you schedule things out and you're looking at it, whether it's Planetly, whether it's digital CEO systems, my awesome product, whether you're using whatever you decide you want to use. Okay. The thing is when you have it in place, you can really truly see more than just who clicked on it, when they clicked on it. You can see how long somebody, how many people went all the way through and looked at like this video. I go back, I analyze, right? I see what comments people are making. That way I can speak back to them. All of the above, it allows me to be able to analyze my performance, look at my marketing efforts, and if things are not working right, it allows me to adjust my strategies as needed. But if I didn't have these things in place, there's no way I can take a strategic approach. There's a difference between strategy and tactics. That's what you all have to know. I was probably talking about it. Hopefully, I think I talked about it early in one of my other ones. Go back and check the replays out. But trust me, I'll be back out here speaking on this. I rinse and repeat because I can't assume that everybody has heard what I'm dropping, right? And then regularly engage with your audience. Why is that going to be important when it comes to the marketing aspect of systematizing? Because it fosters a sense of community and loyalty. One, they know that you're going to show up and you're going to give them some information and you're going to give them quality information. And they also know at some point there's going to be a sale. At some point, there's going to be a freebie offer. At some point, there's going to be something that will allow you to help them get their life and their business together. But if you're not showing up and engaging and fostering that sense of community and loyalty, the marketing is a bust. And now you're just sitting there complaining and wondering why things are just not lining up. So if you're just now joining me, my name, of course, is Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady. And today I dropped 3 tips, 3 ways that you can unlock the power of systemized functions as a female CEO, mompreneur, solopreneur, woman in business. You need to unlock that power. Systems are going to be extremely important for the success of your business, for the growth of your business, and so that you can streamline the business. If you're just now joining me, the replay is going to be here. Go ahead, grab that sheet of paper and pencil, take some notes. Do a checkup from the neck up, girl. See where you may be missing some things. And go ahead and put it in order. Don't worry about what people think, what people say. The fact is when you analyze the situations in your business, it allows you to fix whatever situations. It allows you to test the market. It allows you to see if it's working. It also allows you to see if you implement something new and that's not working, to put it back where it came from. Because if it ain't broke, don't bother it, right? But sometimes we have to split test certain things to see what it is that we need to do in order for us to continually grow our business. I hope that this has been helpful. to you. I believe these are game-changing tips. They're simplified because I'm all about helping you get your SaaS on in your business. SaaS in my book is an acronym. It does stand for several different things. One, when you first heard me, I talked to you about being strategic, taking action, creating your own signature system. But guess what? You can't be strategic, take action, or create your own signature system if you don't take a simplified approach, not overcomplicated approach. If you don't think and consider automations, which we kind of fed into that, right? Scheduling things, right? Systematizing and streamlining your business. That's what SaaS stands for. And that's why I do it. And that's why I coach, train, and work with those female CEOs to help them put their business on rinse and repeat. Listen, we are ending Q1, quarter one, for those of you that may not know. If you don't have your systems in place, you still got time. But I recommend you get them in place, because if you don't, you're just going to be throwing that mud up against the wall, as I always say, expecting for things to stick, and it's not. It's time for you to put your business on rinse and repeat. The time is now to do that. It really is. If you are in need of some sort of help, don't quite know where to start when it comes to that, go on over to my website, letstalkstrategies.com. Click on that button up there at the top left to get yourself the opportunity to schedule a complimentary session, strategy session with me, so that we can discuss where you are, find out your needs, so that I can see how I can best assist you get your SaaS on in your business and scale and streamline and grow your business. You came in business to grow it, not to look like you're a hobbyist. And I'm excited about helping you. Can't wait to help you get your SaaS on in your business. If you're established and you know what you want to do, but you don't have the proper software to do it, I got you covered there too. If you go over to Let's Talk Strategies, you're going to see a button that says Digital CEO Systems. I'm all about those systems. I really am. Let's get digitized. There's no way around it. And you can feel like you don't need to do it and don't have to do it, and I don't need social media, go ahead and get left behind. Just like everybody's struggling with this AI, aka Chat GPT. That thing is not going to take your job. You are the expert, right? These are some things you need to know. Let it work for you as your assistant, but you still got to know what it is you're doing. It's all about a systematic approach. This is Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, aka the strategy lady, over at Let's Talk Strategies, home of the SaaS Factor, where I work with those, let's say, I like to say established female CEOs that are kind of overwhelmed because they ain't got no systems together. Or they have them together, but they're kind of out of place and they need a systems audit. They just don't know what to do. These are the women that I work with. Girl, I help you get your SaaS on in your business. I help you put that business on rinse and repeat instead of stop and start, so you can go ahead and grow it. And you can go ahead and show up when you want to show up with your family, not miss special times as a mom, and be able to really, really have the success that I know you went in business to have. Again, I hope that this has been helpful. Make sure you join me again tomorrow for another segment, which is going to be day 29 of Empowering Women Together. This has been done in honor of Women's History Month. I've been showing up, y'all, with this doggone pollen horse voice for 28 days. Tomorrow will be 29 days. I'm excited that I was able to do this. Cannot wait to help you get your SaaS on in your business. Feel free to leave me a message down in the comment section. If I don't answer, how do I find your products? Letstalkstrategies.com, or you can go to Digital CEO Systems. But Let's Talk Strategies is my brand, my business name. When you go there, you find everything you need from me, from that complimentary session, from if you need a systems audit, from a VIP day, from getting ready for us to go ahead and do this 12-week program, the six-figure. It was Mompreneur Plan, but I answered the call from several women and extended it to 12 weeks because the information that I share is a lot. But we get down to the nitty-gritty, and is now called the six-figure female CEO plan. You guys will be seeing those changes soon. You're going to have 3 options that you can participate in this awesome cohort where you can learn, do things right there on the spot. Have an area inside the system where you would do things. We get together, we break that thing down, and you get a chance to sit and communicate with other like-minded female CEOs such as yourself. All right, y'all, I got to get ready to get out of here. I got to get in mompreneur mode. I got my youngest daughter, my high schooler daughter, who wants me to straighten her hair because we don't have no crack in it, no perm. We live a plant-based diet, so our hair is even plant-based. No perm, no nothing. I gotta really get ready to get into that mompreneur mode and take care of my daughter. So again, I appreciate you all for joining me. Again, remember, leave some comments down in the comments area. Now, I hope this resonated with you. If you need some time with me, go on over to Let's Talk Strategies. I'm here to help you get your sass on. Take care now. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.